What's up guys, it's Matt from TDM Style here. Welcome back to the channel once again. 3 videos in 1 week. It feels damn good to be back. And today we are looking at the clay that a bunch of y'all have been so thirsty for me to get to. So finally, here we are. We're taking a look at the Forte series clay from Alex Costa. Costa? Whatever, you know who he is. Now, before we get started, I just look at this. I got some fresh Pay Money Wubby merch. This is the Money Conscious shirt, and I wanted to, if you watched my Mac for Men video from yesterday, you probably already saw it, but I'm just really stoked on it. I think it looks sick. Anyway, we're here to talk about Forte clay today. Y'all have been asking for this, and before we get started, I do want to be honest, these guys reached out to me before the launch, and they asked if I was interested in, getting one and checking it out and like doing a post for them. And I turned it down because I wasn't really all that interested. Nothing against them or anything, but I don't sub to Alex, and when I first saw like the whole reveal of it, it didn't really look all that exciting to me. So I was like, nah, it's okay, thanks. But y'all have been requesting it like non-stop. So I went ahead and bought one for myself. So I did buy this with my own money, and I've been testing it for about a week or so. So I'm very acquainted with what's in here. So let's get chatting about it. Ugh. So this is advertised as a high hold, low shine texture hair clay, and it's definitely, I feel like they want to make it known that this is a traditional heavy clay. So it's not meant to be like a creamy scoop or that sort of thing that's kind of been popular lately. So as far as the packaging, this does come in one of these little cardboard boxes that's got, the name of the product on it. It's got the ingredients on the back of the box. And then inside the lid, they have this little yellow thing that's just kind of like a note about the product that basically says like, this bitch thick, you're gonna have to dig in and like really warm it up and yada yada. Then inside the box, of course, we have the actual product jar. So this is a 3.4 ounce frosted plastic jar with a black plastic lid. And then we've got the, the name of the product and some info about how to use it printed right onto the jar. So the packaging, I think, to be honest with you, is pretty basic. I mean, like we literally saw this same, it's right here. Like the Mac for Men video I did yesterday is a very similar design. I mean, of course, this is a bigger jar. So I do like that it's 3.4 ounces. I mean, that's a lot of product, but the jar itself, it's just kind of dull for me. I mean, like I said the same thing in the Mac for Men video, like it's been done. It's frosted plastics, like it looks fine. It looks, like a salon quality hair product. There's nothing wrong with it. I like the fonts and stuff. It looks pretty clean, but it's not exciting to me. Now, in terms of the pricing on this, when I bought it, right after launch, it was $18.50. So then shipping on top of that was like $4 and change. So it came out to be like just shy of 23 bucks. All right, now for everybody's favorite category of scent. And this one, they just mentioned like a natural scent on the website. So
nothing.
It's completely unscented, and so I guess what they meant by natural scent is that you just smell like the natural smell of the products that are in there. So it does smell a little bit waxy, but it barely smells of anything. Which, I'll be honest, I was super disappointed by, man. I mean, I get it. I'm sure a lot of people actually would prefer unscented products, especially if you're gonna be wearing, a cologne or perfume or something. But I like a scent in my hair product. And to me, like, if I hand somebody a jar of a hair product, what's the first thing they do? They open it and they smell that bitch. And this literally smells like just slightly of wax. Now, the ingredients. I am going to have the entire list of ingredients in the description box for you guys, and I want to mention they're not printed on the jar. They are printed on the back of the box, though, which is good because I found they're very difficult to find on the website, to the point that at first I thought they weren't listed at all. So like when you go to the website and you click shop or whatever and you click on the clay, it tells you like a little bit about it and it says like infused with argan oil or whatever, but there's no, I expected there to be like a tab that says ingredients or whatever, just like further down the page. And it's not there. So I thought that they just didn't list it. And as I was just kind of perusing the website, I just happened to click, I was like, all right, well, let's check out what's in the FAQ, like what could possibly be in there. And like all the way down, almost near the bottom of the FAQ, there was a question that said like, what are the ingredients of the clay? And that's where they had them listed. So they are on the website. It was just, I had to do a bit of digging to find it, like before this came in the mail. And I've even had a few comments from people saying like, hey, when you review Forte, make sure you tell us the ingredients because they're not on the website. So if I can offer up some constructive criticism as far as the site is concerned, I would say it'd be a good idea to take the ingredients out of the bottom of the FAQ and instead just put them on the page with the clay so that they're like right there, so anybody who is wondering what's in it can see it easily. Anyway, getting into what's actually in this thing. So this is not a water-based clay. Beeswax is in the first spot, and this is, a salon lab type clay, so the ingredients list is pretty fucking massive, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. Like I said, I will have it below. But there is a bunch of stuff that we'll recognize here. So we've got like castor oil, bentonite clay, Ozokerite wax. It does have some paraffin in it. There is some water in the formula later on. We've also got kaolin clay in there. We have some silica, which is good for, it coats the hair and kind of thickens it a bit. The argan oil is in there. It's near the bottom, as well as some shea butter too. It also, on the bottom of the box, it says natural-based ingredients. I'm not totally sure where they were going with that. The argan oil does say it's organic. All right, now getting inside the jar to take a look at this thing, it looks, well, exactly like you would expect it to look. It's a traditional heavy clay, and it looks like one. Now, scooping this out, I mean, they mentioned that it's thick, and boy, it's thick. I mean, you need some serious pressure to get that bitch out of the jar, and then when you put it into the hands to break it down, you best work. Thickness. So with that in mind, let's go into the demo footage here, and they do recommend to use this in the way that I typically use clays anyway, which is just to apply a dime-sized amount into blow-dried hair. So here we are. Yeah, clean blow-dried hair. We're ready to go, and I'm scooping out a dime-sized amount, and that's another thing. Do not take a big scoop. I'll expand a little bit more on that later, but just, yeah, start small. And like I said, break that bitch down thoroughly. So once it is totally emulsified and clear in the hands, then you can go in, and I like to apply this type of product by kind of brushing the hair all forward first to kind of try to get into the roots as much as possible, and then using my fingers with this kind of rake and shake thing, just to really get it into the roots, because it's a heavy product, so you don't want it all on the ends of your hair, because then it's just going to flop over and be flat. Now they're calling this a high hold clay, and as a result it does have some grip to it. So I wouldn't say it's like the most tuggy or pulley thing I've ever used. Actually, far from it. I've used shit that's like way tuggier and pullier. That's such a weird tuggier and pullier. I don't know, it sounded weird. You know when you say words too many times and then they just start to sound wrong? Anyway, yeah, there will be a bit of grip. You'll see some hairs coming out, but it's no big deal. And once you've got it worked in, the hair does become quite moldable, so I found it very easy to shape that into my desired style, and you do feel the hold right up front. So basically, you can pop up some pretty big volume here, and the hair is going to feel waxy. I mean, this, again, it's a heavy clay, so you are gonna feel that bitch. You're gonna feel it in your hair. It's not gonna be lightweight like a paste. You're gonna know it's there, and but the kind of upside to that is that it does make the hair easy to mold into whatever shape you desire. So here we are with the finished look. We've got a nice texture. We've got some pretty good volume, and yeah, I would call it like a natural shine or natural finish. Low shine, I don't think it's quite there. Like, it's not matte, but it's not shiny, and so this is kind of my ideal type of natural looking finish, so my hair doesn't look dry and it also doesn't look greasy. Now, as far as the hold on this one, is it a high or strong hold? Yes, if you use it correctly. So I mentioned a minute ago, like, don't take a big old scoop. Well, this is why. So we can see here at 8 hours later on my one single dime-sized scoop application that we're still looking pretty good. We haven't really lost that much in the way of volume. Things basically haven't moved, and it is pliable, of course. It's a clay and it's wax-based, so you can certainly move it around and restyle it should you want to or need to, but it does have enough hold for me where it'll basically stay in place all day. However, I found, at least for me, with my, I mean, I have heavy, coarse hair, and this is a heavy product. If I used even the slightest bit too much, my hair would just go and just flatten after about an hour, and then it's just like low volume. Like, it still looks okay, the texture is fine, but it just feels real heavy, it feels real waxy, and the volume just will not stay there. So if you're gonna use this product, use it sparingly. Now, in terms of the washout, this is not a water-based clay, but Alex did say it's easy to wash out with shampoo, and I would agree with that. I had no issue getting this out of my hair with just a single, any old standard shampoo moment. All right, so overall thoughts on the Forte series clay from Alex Costa. It's okay. It's pretty basic, if you ask me. Now, I'm certainly not saying it's bad. I mean, it definitely has a nice strong hold. It's got some nice texture. It's pliable. It's everything that you would expect a heavy clay to be. But in my opinion, that's also just what makes it kind of basic and not very exciting. I mean, I mentioned the packaging has been done, like it's so that's not very exciting. I'm super disappointed that there's no scent, which I get it. Some people will appreciate the unscentedness, which that's fine. But yeah, it's just, to me, it's very similar in terms of performance and functionality to many of the other popular heavy clays in the hair world right now. So, I mean, and this gets asked a lot. Like, I watched a handful of other reviews of this, and literally every comment section has people asking, like, how does it compare to Cavalier? How does it compare to Chavoo Ocean Clay? How does it compare to Claymation? And if you haven't watched Mike Smith's review of this yet, he did like a really thorough comparison of all of those, including like formulas and stuff. So I highly recommend you go watch that if you really want to delve into the comparison world. If we're gonna nitpick and split hairs, I would say that of the lot of all those, like Claymation, Cavalier, Ocean Clay, and this, I think this has the strongest hold of the group for me when used properly. I think the finish is very comparable to all the others. I find all of those clays for me have basically a natural looking finish, although Cavalier for me later in the day gets greasy as fuck. So I was happy that this does not get greasy later in the day. But yeah, aside from that, it's a traditional heavy clay. So if it is what it is, One thing I will say though that definitely for me like set this one apart from like the other YouTuber products out there is that this is, I mean, I might be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, this is the first one that they've made kind of like a proper commercial for it. Like they filmed like an advert. I mean, so like watching it, like the production value is great. It's filmed and edited like very professionally. I mean, like I said, it's like a proper commercial. But it's weird. So there's like Alex coming down, like he's all suited up, and you can see like he just finished blow drying his hair. It's like it's not like done yet. And so I'm seeing him, and he like grabs the jar of clay. And I'm like, okay, the next scene is gonna be him like in front of a mirror doing his hair. Nope, he is going down into the subway with his or what appears to be a subway with like unfinished hair, and then he like stops it presumably in front of some mirrored surface like in the subway and is like styling his hair. So I don't get that. Like this, like are they trying to say like, oh, it's a clay for people on the go? Like if you're running out the door and you didn't finish your hair yet, just like bring it with you. And so then there's like another scene which totally makes sense. There's like they're in, I think it's Daniel Alfonso's salon. So like somebody just got a haircut and like the barber is there and he's like styling up the hair. Makes perfect sense. Like, all right, you just got a fresh cut. Dude's like, oh, my boy Alex just came out with this clay. Let me style your hair with it. Cool. Totally makes sense. But then like this one is real weird. Like the next one is a tattoo artist and like he's getting ready, like he's filling up for some reason like way too many pods with just black ink, but he's like getting ready to like get the needle on, and then he's like, oh, stand by, like I gotta style my hair. Like I don't know what like message that's trying to convey. Like it's just weird to me. Like if I'm sitting in the chair like ready to get some fresh ink and my tattoo artist was like, oh bro, hang on, I gotta just like fucking style my hair real quick, I would be like, come on, son. Like that, I don't know. It's just, I know this like has no, it doesn't matter. Like none of this matters in terms of, you know, the performance of the product or anything. And I do think like it's a cool idea, and it was smart for them to like film this commercial for it, because like I said, it's very professionally done, but I just don't get it. Like it's weird. And my shoulders, I don't know why I keep doing this. But yeah, all of that shit aside, it's a fine product. I certainly don't dislike it. I mean, it works as advertised. I think the price is fine, especially for, you know, the size jar that you get. And it's a salon quality lab made traditional heavy clay. It's just, like I said, I don't find it to be very exciting to me, or it's nothing revolutionary, but yeah, it's a fine product. It's just, I think it's just basic. So that wraps things up for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this and found it helpful. I have so much more content coming. I'm so stoked to be back. So yeah, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button down below to keep up to date with all the upcoming stuff I've got going on. And as always, thank you guys so much for coming by and watching, and we'll see you at the next one.